because it is a very difficult job. Our featured speaker today is a man who deserves the highest commendation in the field of education in Trinidad and Tobago, and that is Mr. Ramkhalawan. Mr. Ramkhalawan has dedicated his entire life to teaching. First, he himself worked very hard to make himself into a proper teacher, and then dedicated his rest of his life to teaching. And Mr. Ramkhalawan is my former teacher. And Mrs. Ramkhalawan also is my former teacher. And it is only because of their grace I passed exam. And he has taught so many students in this country, and those students have spread so far and wide across this globe that some years ago in Toronto, I received a phone call, and they said that you are a former student of Ramke, na? I said, yes. They said, well, we're having a Ramke get-together. This is students of Mr. Ramkhalawan way in Toronto who have a Ramke group. And if you go to every city in North America, there will be some students of Mr. and Mrs. Ramkhalawan, and the moment they hear that you went to Ramke, they will call you up to find out how things going. Even though they don't know you, they just hear that somebody is there who went to Ramke. His school is to be called Ramke, of course, named after Mr. Ramkhalawan. In Trinidad, you know, we shorten everything. Some years ago, when I returned from India, I used to visit our Vidyalayas in India to teach the children this and that. And I used to think, well, this type of school, you know, will be so good in Trinidad. So when I returned, I was thinking, well, one of these days we have to start this school, but we have to get the right person to start this school. I'm thinking here on my own, and Mr. Ramkhalawan is sitting home in a rocking chair. And he's thinking, this school in Kuva used to be so good, you know. In this lifetime, if I can leave this legacy of education through some organization where it will be able to, you know, evolve, and where that organization will be able to carry on this thing, it will be great. So he's thinking of leaving this legacy, and I'm thinking, Bhagavan, when are you going to send the right person? And, well, of course, Bhagavan is a miracle maker, right? Bhagavan put the thought in Mr. Ramkhalawan's mind, and Mr. Ramkhalawan came one day, and he was hesitant also. He was thinking maybe this Swami will not, or this Brahmachari that time, this Brahmachari will not be interested in this kind of thing, you know, because he only teaches Gita and Ramayana and thing, and where he go on to with education and all that kind of thing, you know. Mr. Ramkhalawan came, and he told this idea. In my mind, I talk in nice, but in my mind, I say, Mr. Ramkhalawan, where you did all this time? I'm only thinking about that. So the two desires came together on that day. And immediately I called Guruji in India. And I told, well, Mr. Ramkhalawan came up with this idea. Guruji said, okay, next week I'm coming to Atlanta. Both of you come there. And quickly we got tickets and everything. We rushed to Atlanta and we met Guruji. Then Guruji said, first tell me why you want to start school. I say, ASCII. Mr. Ramkhalawan explained this whole thing. Guruji said, okay, I give permission. This happened in July, and we have to start school in September. So we have to come here and put this whole thing together in that short space of time with teachers, lab, training, office, syllabus, everything. Luckily in Trinidad and Tobago, the law is a little bit lenient. They allow you to start the school and then apply for the permit. Trinidad law real good, So Mr. Ramkhalawan got busy immediately he was working round the clock. And so this Chinmaya Vidyalaya, this legacy which he started in Cuba way back in the 70s, this thing is now vibrant and alive in this institution, all to the great glory and hard work of this most wonderful educator of Trinidad and Tobago. If anybody deserves the award for education in Trinidad and Tobago, it is Mr. Ramkhalawan. I now invite Mr. Ramkhalawan to address you.
Swami Prakashananda Ji, spiritual head of Chinmaya, Trinidad and Tobago, and principal of the Chinmaya Vidyalaya schools. Mr. Rupal Rambihari, President of Chinmaya Mission and a board member. The brahmacharis and brahmacharinis, the members of the academic and non-academic and support staff of the Chinmaya Vidyalaya, honored guests, parents, and students. Today, we all join in the celebrations commemorating the 100th birth anniversary of Gurudev, Pujya Swami Chinmayananda, a spiritual master and visionary. Gurudev believed that academic education infused with spiritual and cultural values will bring out the best personality traits in a person, thus making him an asset rather than a liability to society. With this view in mind, Gurudev spoke of the development of the child, saying, "Children are not vessels to be filled, but lamps to be lit." In July 2003, as a follow-up to discussions with Swami Prakashananda Ji, the spiritual head of Chinmaya Mission International, Pujya Guruji Swami Chinmayananda, requested that I meet him in Atlanta, USA, with the objective of establishing Chinmaya Vidyalaya in Trinidad. Swami Prakashananda accompanied me to that meeting, and Guruji outlined Gurudev's vision for education. After a cautious assessment of the proposal, Guruji gave his seal of approval for the establishment for Chinmaya Vidyalaya in Trinidad, the first Vidyalaya outside India. As a consequence, Chinmaya Vidyalaya, Trinidad and Tobago, was born on the 1st of August 2003. Swami Prakashananda was given the responsibility of being the first principal and to spearhead Gurudev's vision for education in Trinidad. I consented to offer volunteer service, serving in the capacity of Director of Studies and Assistant to the Principal. With no track record of performance, the Vijayalaya was treated with the expected skepticism. With Gurudev's blessings and the hard work of the staff, the Vijayalaya soon began to earn the confidence and respect of the public. From the outset, the principal went to work by laying the foundation for the implementation of the vision for Gurudev's education. He took the bold step of making the kurta the standard uniform for all students. The study of Sanskrit, the language used in our scriptures and daily rituals, became mandatory for all students. In addition to the daily morning devotion, the academic study of the Ramayana and the Bhagavad Puran was started in the lower classes. Gurudev's favorite text, the Bhaja Govindam, continues to be studied by our students in the original Devanagari Sanskrit script to this day. The study of Hindu religion and culture, known in the school here as HRC, and the Chinmaya Vision program, known here as CVP, covered many aspects of Gurudev's vision for education in the Vijayalaya. Chinmaya Vijayalaya schools in India are ranked among the best in the nation in terms of academic excellence. Since our students were expected to write the CXC exams, we had to develop our own programs and strategies. Our syllabus was structured to be completed in 4 years. This has been repeatedly accomplished every year, so there is absolutely no need for private lessons. The implementation of the 4-point teaching program for each 1-hour classroom session ensured the proper utilization of time by the teachers as follows. 1, the correction of homework. 2, followed by the written exam and return of corrected scripts. 3, teaching a new lesson and giving here study notes to all students. And then the class ends here with the assignment of written homework printed as a worksheet. Swamiji had indicated at one time that you should strive to build a prestige school. Well, the idea didn't really click with me. But when he repeated it again another time, I said, this thing, Swamiji is well serious about it. But all our mechanisms were in place. Everything was moving here to full capacity. So I didn't know exactly here how to proceed in order to become a prestige school. Since our first attempt at the CXC exams, we got 100% pass rate in 10 subjects or more in both the science and the business studies. The pass rate of 100% has been repeated year after year. Thus, I ask the question, if getting 100% pass rate in successive years is the traditional benchmark for achieving a prestige school status, then we did achieve prestige school status, and only in 5 years. Guruji was enthusiastic and he sent his congratulations to us. Subsequently, we were blessed with his attendance in 2010 as he came to our graduation, and students were blessed as he personally handed out here his certificates to the graduating students. The work of the Vijayalaya, there are some people whose efforts have stood out. Everybody in the Vijayalaya work. That was a standard rule. And if you didn't work here, you didn't remain in the Vijayalaya also too. Miss Kumari Maharaj, she is a well-grounded science teacher, and she is the longest serving member of the staff. I don't know if is Miss Maharaj here. Okay. Mr. Parmanand Singh was a student of the high school we are in Kuva, and he also here served as a teacher there. And then he came over here, that's at Chinmaya Vijayalaya. If you are not aware, he is now the backbone of the mathematics and science studies here in the Form 4 and Form 5. Swamiji was also a student of our school and high school in Kuva. And whether by karmic bonds or other, he lured his English teacher, Mrs. Ramkhalawan, to join the Vijayalaya staff from the inception. In addition to teaching English and history to the examination class, she also served as a supervisor for the preschools and the primary schools at the 7 campus locations. Gurudev was a firm believer in the potential for children to develop and grow into individuals who can make a positive contribution to society. Thus, for their development, he created here the Vidyalaya, the Bal Vihar, and the Young People's Chik as their early training ground. Today, the preschools of Chinmaya Vidyalaya at our 7th campus, they serve as beacon flags, okay, and they represent here the ideals of Gurudev, which are being implanted into the fertile young minds of our children. Swamiji next advocated here that we should here get into the preschool system of education. This is an area in which we had no experience, but eventually the system was set up, And after the people or the public began to see here the impact of the value system of education and the morals and the cultural aspect over here, there soon was a demand for places in the Vijayalaya. There are a number of people in the Vijayalaya who served with a passion in the early days of this development, helping here to support here Gurudev's vision for education. We have Mrs. Sain from Kuva, Mrs. Ramota from Gasparilla. She is no longer with the system, but she came. And Mrs. Manorat from DB. There was one missing link in the system, and that was here the absence of a primary school. Again, with not much experience, we went into it here, having done research and established the system. People were so impressed with what has been done there that they decided here not to send their children to write the SCA exams and remain here and get a complete training in the primary school and then move over to the high school. With an advanced curriculum diligently worked out, providing background as you go along here, students excelled beyond our expectations. I wish to recognize the work of Mrs. Lakshmini Singh, the head teacher at that time. She did solid work in that area. Today, the Vijayalaya system operates with a seamless transition. Students now move from the preschool to the primary school and the high school. And since 3 years now, students who graduated here from the primary school have now entered here the high school system. This year is an achievement for us, for it means here that we are able here to take the child here from the early stage in the preschool here and mold his mind in order to become here a responsible and productive citizen. Our graduates, many of them here, that is from the high school, have gone on here now to tertiary education here. And these people here now can be seen here coming back here again here and offering here to propagate here the teachings of Gurudev. By now, you may have recognized the vastness of Gurudev's vision for education. The establishment of the Vijayalaya gave us an opportunity to participate and join in making Gurudev's vision for education a reality. I am particularly grateful to Swami Prakashananda Ji for the trust and confidence he placed in me to do the pioneering work in the establishment of Vijayalaya and its use as a vehicle to foster and promote the work of a saint who showed the world the true meaning of love, selflessness, and sacrifice. I am grateful to Swami Prakashanandji for the unseen sacrifice he made to make the Vijayalaya a vehicle of social change. Many people may have noticed here, at times he was not here on the school compound. But many did not know here that when he went abroad here, he was searching for funds, making requests here for people here to make contributions in order to keep the Vijayalaya financially afloat. By my estimation, couple $1 million were pumped into the Vijayalaya in order to keep it afloat. And had it not been here, because of that effort, unseen effort by Swamiji, I don't think we would have had here a Vijayalaya today. I am grateful to Swamiji for his example and unwavering faith and devotion in propagating the work of Gurudev. Let us all show our appreciation for Swamiji. But if we get up, let us get up. Right? Let us stand. Okay, please have a seat. I also want to express here my gratitude to all members of the staff, both academic and non-academic, at all the campuses, who showed confidence and trust in what I was doing, and had shown me also the highest degree of respect. I urge you to continue in your pursuit of learning. But one thing you must always remember: humility is the mark of an educated person. Many years ago, Swami Vivekananda spoke about the spiritual and ethical characteristics of leaders in society by saying, "One man who has purified himself in thoughts, words, and deeds can be more effective than a team of preachers in the positive transformation of society." He continued by saying, "The earth's best and bravest will have to sacrifice themselves for the good of many and the welfare of all." Gurudev symbolizes the purity of thoughts, words, and deeds. Gurudev was the best of the earth. Gurudev sacrificed himself for the good of many and the welfare of all. Gurudev was a brave visionary, and he will continue to be an eternal light for all humanity. Jai Gurudev.
Mr. Ramkhalawan deserved a standing ovation, actually. Thank you, Mr. Ramkhalawan.